Alright guys, so for today's video we're gonna go ahead and watch some live gameplay between me and my friend Matt. I am on Phantom Knights and he is on Unchained. As you guys know, this is the new best sack that everyone's been hyping up. Jesse Cotton just won the YCS with it. This was pre that YCS. It was post Sao Paulo. This was like 3 to 4 days ago. I had just hadn't had the time to basically like upload it to my computer and commentate over it. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Few side notes, guys. Like this was basically at a friend's house, just recording. Talking a lot of mess that made it so I'm obviously not including the audio. I'm just commentating over it. But because of that, we take back plays, and then in the end of game one, you're gonna see me. It looks like I made an illegal play, but I remember what happened. It was just me saying, "Okay, that next turn I just do this and win." But then I was like, "Oh, let me just like play it out for the camera." So I start off first, and I believe this is not at double speed yet. So let me go ahead and put it at double speed. Yeah, there we go. So I start off going first, and I draw a decent hand. We start off with Brave Engine, which is always good. We did hard open the wings, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not the best. We did hard open a Griffin, which is really good, especially when we hard open it with a right. And then we're going to basically go ahead and grab the Draco back there. I should not have done that, to be honest. I should have added first. That way I would have just dumped the wings. In fact, I make a mistake here by going ahead and dumping the Draco back instead of the wings, which isn't a big deal because I can get the wings in graveyard later, but I should have dumped the wings instead. So I Water Enchantress and Cloak into Cherubini, and then I go ahead and use the Water Enchantress because I already know that he doesn't have Droll because he would have Drolled me by now. Regardless, I still should have started off with adding the monster instead of the spell, so that way if he did have Droll, I would have been in a better position. But oh well. Cherubini then goes ahead and dumps Torn Skills. We go ahead and Cloak to search boots. This is a riskier play, but I believe because I had wings, I was in a better situation. But honestly, if wings would have been in the graveyard, we definitely go for boots. In this scenario, we shouldn't have, but we did anyways because we know they're not playing any Bestials. So we went ahead and made Bardiche. Bardiche dumps gloves, and then we're going to go ahead and set Shade Brigandine. And the reason why I was saying that if the wings was correct is because now if they did have a Bestial before, I would have just chained the wings, and then adding boots would have been fine. So here we set Shade Brigandine because we know we're going to go for the Time Thief with a trap card. In fact, we're going here for basically our strongest board, which the goal here is to make a Leviar, and then after that make a Breaksword, and then basically go IP Time Thief with Trap, which is pretty much the strongest board we can get combined with a Fogblade and a Griffin. And that is exactly what we do manage to accomplish. So here Tornado dumps, and we go ahead and dump the Fogblade because we know we're going to get back the Cloak for follow-up anyways. So I don't know what I was thinking about so much here because it seems pretty obvious, but obviously I'm looking at this in hindsight now. So we went ahead and dumped that Fogblade, and we go Fogblade effect, summon the gloves. I think the main issue here was that if they had Imperm Niv, we just lose, but I mean, we just lose to Imperm Niv anyways. We go ahead and go Leviar, and then we Leviar and summon Cloak. So side tip that I've learned from playing this more and more often now, if we make Leviar, we should be making it in the zone that Bardiche points to unless we know we're going for this specific play, because if we need the IP play and we need the space, we want to be able to link the Leviar off, and that way we can keep the Torn Scales on the board. But whatever, we go here with the Leviar into the IP Time Thief Trap card. We have Bardiche, we have a live popping graveyard, and then we have two sets, which one of them is a Fogblade, the other is a Droplets. This is a really, really impressive board, but his deck still manages to play pretty well into it. We do get a spell card off Time Thief, which is really nice. And now he starts by setting. Here's the first like take back is basically I consider using a weird play where I was going to Fogblade and then summon back the Breaksword, not use the Bardiche, and then go Unicorn. But then I was like, wait, this is stupid. Let me not do this. So I just took that back. Now, obviously, guys, taking back is not the best thing to do when you're testing highly competitive, but I was learning this matchup as I went, so we forgave some mistakes. I don't know if later if he took anything back, but like I let my opponents take back stuff all the time when it's friendly competition and we're just learning decks, so it's fine. So here he establishes a Ruha, and a Ruha popped the trap card. He summoned the one that pops on summon, so he discards a Phoenix Shrine of Warrior, so he's getting a lot of pluses here. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and Fogblade him. I could have Griffined, which I thought of, but I believed that if he had like any kind of like power spell or anything like that, I wanted the Griffin for that, so I went ahead and decided to throw a Fogblade on it. And here's where he comes spicy with the tech, because he does play the Lance. Now, I haven't seen any other Unchained players play Lance, but I like it. He uses it here. Obviously, it's gonna get negated by Griffin, but I have had a situation when we played earlier that he lanced the Caesar after I tried to Draco back it, and I was not able to clear the Caesar after that. So yeah, I immediately Griffin that lance because I need that thing to get negated. He dumps off Rhino Warrior, he dumps the extender from Graveyard, and then here is where I think for a moment, I think here is where I try to remove monsters. I don't want him getting into that Yama because even if I can negate the Yama, it doing stuff in Graveyard is just not fun. So I'd rather just remove as many bodies as possible. So here's where I go Fogblade. I went IP first. That's very important. IP is Chainlink 1, followed by a Chainlink 2 uh, Fogblade targeting the Breaksword. And basically what this is going to get us, we go Chainlink 3 Time Thief to draw and put back, but we are not going to use the effect to banish itself because we're going to go for an apple play. So basically Breaksword now comes out and we make apple, and even though Breaksword is no longer on the field, we are going to be able to trigger that Bardiche and pop the Aruha. We pop the Aruha and immediately negate it with that apple, so that way he does not get any more extenders from there. We don't want him getting more bodies and continuing to play the game at Yu-Gi-Oh! Of course, he is a demon and has the thrust, so he goes ahead and thrusts, and here I believe he adds talents. Yep, talents, and then he's going to talents and take our Appaloosa. And he also has a tour guide, which is kind of crazy, but luckily we do have a response for the tour guide. If we didn't have a response for the tour guide, we might have lost. And so here, I thought for a second whether to send the Bardiche or to send the Draco back, because I wasn't sure if he had like an effect that was going to quick effect pop it, but we decided to send the Draco back in case he had like another lance or maybe, I don't know, a Book of Eclipse or something. So we went ahead and sent the Draco back instead, and then Draco back automatically equips itself, and that way we still have our Bardiche live for next turn. At this point, we've honestly left him, I believe, at either 0 cards in hand or 1 card in hand at most, and he doesn't have any lines, to be honest. He can make a Link monster, and that's about it. He can't even Yama because he needs 2 Fiends, and I'm assuming that based on the play he does here, that the blue Link monster, if I'm not mistaken, that it requires a Unchained Soul, so that's what he does. He basically uses the Graveyard effect to then pop the tour guide and then go ahead and link them off. This is where he learns that Bardiche can't be linked with, because we were discussing this. At the end of the day, this is theory. This was testing, so we do a lot of theorizing while we're playing. And so he does go ahead and do that. And here he goes into I believe, the Blue Soul. And here we just laugh about it, and we were talking about the fact that, like, his deck still did a lot. Like, even if I didn't have droplets, it would have been wraps. So his deck definitely did a lot and was able to play through a lot. And he's about to, I believe at some point in this conversation, he's about to just scoop it up or just talking about what could be done. And I'm like, and he's like, yeah, you have infinite follow-up. And I'm like, yeah, I have Fogblade, just go get Cloak and that. And obviously I had already used Fogblade this turn, so I couldn't do that. It's not a legal play. I don't remember exactly how it went down, but I was basically just showing it, and then we were like, well, let's do it for the camera. But yeah, I should have waited until after drawing that to use that Fogblade, but it doesn't matter because I don't trigger the throwing skills again. So I respected that throwing skills would have not triggered, because basically what I would have done is just let the draw phase happen, and then just draw phase or main phase, done the Fogblade. So it looks a little weird because it looks like I went ahead and Use Fog Blade twice during a turn, but that wasn't the scenario. I'm not gonna lie, that has happened before. Like sometimes in really long games, you just fuck up. I have never done it I only done it one time that I can think of, and that was like a 40-minute turn because there was so many interactions. And the problem was he, for some reason, the Fog Blade got shuffled into the deck, and then we realized it. I was like, oh, so yeah, not the best thing, but whatever. Here he goes, Red Soul, and then I mean we just pop it. It just all it does is add it back. He doesn't have a Yama or anything to get any bodies, so we don't trigger like the Torn Scales. As I said, we just bring it back off Brave Sword. We just make the Raiders Knight and then rank up into the. I don't even know if we would need to rank up at this point, but we if anything we rank up into the 3K body just to swing for game, and yeah, that's all she wrote. So here, I'm gonna skip forward because I know we spent a lot of time on siding, just as we were talking a lot during that, and I had no idea what to side. Like I said, this was when I was learning the matchup. I feel like I know it a little bit better now. And then here, we get into the gameplay where he starts off by Yama comboing, and he's triggering both traps, doing standard Unchained stuff. And he makes Ruha, or Aruha, whatever, and then he summons Sarama effect, resets one of the traps. He resets the pop. And here I'm pretty much like evaluating my hand. I remember my hand not being that great. And trying to think like how am I gonna break this board? Because obviously he goes, pops it, brings something else out, and now he has the Caesar live. Yeah, so now he has standard board, which if you guys don't know, this is pretty much the standard board for Unchained. I mean, sometimes it can get a little bit more, but normally it's Blue Dog, Caesar, Unchained Monster, and the trap card that pops you, which is what he just revealed. And so here I showed him I drew the Fantastic Return because I didn't realize I could summon it on my turn. I was just laughing about it, and we were talking about it. And then I read the card and I'm like, oh shit! Remember, this is a friendly game, so showing him the Phantasm, it was just we laughed about it for a moment. Because to me it was the equivalent of drawing Nib. However, then I realized Phantasm is goaded, and it is not the equivalent of drawing Nib. It is a lot better. So here we go, Fateful. Starting off Fateful is never a good thing. I'm not sure if he lets this go through. He might. Honestly, I believe letting this go through is fine because if I'm starting off Faithful, it means I probably don't have right. If I do have right, it might not be that bad. Here somebody was passing through. That's why you get to see the other match and you see. I don't know if we have been playing at this time or Rennick was just out here playtesting his hands, but he has a crazy board there, so he's having fun. So Faithful, we add a Legal Knight, and then off of Legal Knight we dump a Fog Blade. So that's a really good because we're gonna have a standard for later. We book a moon the Caesar. Don't know why I got so close to the mat there. So he's thinking on whether or not to chain the trap, I believe, because I don't think he has lance. He lets it go through. And then we go Legal Knight effect to summon. We establish a body on board. And then we are getting the Draco back since we summoned the Legal Knight. And now we're just thinking, go normal summon Torn Scales, and we wait to see what he does here. Is that a Torn Twister in my hand? I don't see why I wouldn't have used that before. He didn't do anything, so we go dark. That might be a droplet. That might be the situation. It might be a droplet. So we go dark, summon dark, and then here's where I'm assuming he's gonna immediately use blue dog to attempt to aid. And I see that the camera obviously got cut off. I'm sorry guys. People were just moving and they moved the camera on a lot. Hopefully nothing crazy happens here, but I'm pretty sure he just used blue dog. Oh, we took this back because I realized the better play before. So yeah guys, listen. This is how we learned, alright? We get better over time. but I realized there was a better line, so basically we go effects, pitch, and we send that Draco back, which wasn't doing anything because we didn't have a right, so we weren't getting anywhere. And he did try to imperm it, and so I chain droplet and get it off the board, and now I'm able to basically have a way to negate the blue dog and still allow my turn skills to resolve. So this is a pretty plus play, to be honest. Using droplets to dodge stuff is really good, and somebody is moving the camera once again. I apologize. And oh, there we go. That's a better angle. So he chained the trap card to pop that, and this other Ruha. I don't know why the Caesar's going here. He just no, he's not picking up. I remember we continued playing this. What happened here? Why is the Caesar leaving here? Hmm. Oh, I guess there wasn't an Aruha on the border? I'm pretty sure there was. I don't know what just happened, actually. Let me rewind for a second. So, it was an Aruha and a Caesar. So he pops. Wait, why did he pop all three cards? I don't know what happened here. Yeah, because Blue Dog. Or was he. Did he chain Blue Dog to Link or something? No. What's going on? Hmm. Let's see if we figure out what happened here. Because there's no reason that Caesar should have left the board. Not that I think it matters because it was face down, it wasn't going to do anything, but yeah, no, he had it. I don't know why these cards left. Because the trap card should have just popped two of them. What happened? Okay, so the Caesar should not have been popped. There should be a face down Caesar here. I don't know why he did this, but I assume his intention was, oh, wait, no, he had chain of blue dog, so I don't, yeah, I'm not sure what happened here, but basically, the Caesar should definitely still be on the board. So he trapped, popped these two, and then triggered Yama to bring it back, and then triggered the other, it wasn't this one, it was the other, the blue one, to summon this one out. Again, I have no idea why the Caesar's not on the board. Um, maybe it wasn't removed by any other effect. I have no idea what happened. Regardless, guys, the Caesar is going to make no impact because I actually do manage to LTK here because he triggered the Phantasme by summoning back the Link monster. So the Caesar would be just face down defense. In fact, it would have made it easier for me to OTK because I believe at some point either I knew what this card was or he resets it off of an effect. Yeah, he set it off an effect, I believe. I don't recall what effect, but he definitely set it off an effect. Or is that? Oh, I think I know it. No, I have no idea what happened actually. I feel like he. Sorry, guys. This is So hold on. Let me see something. Cause he's Saramaing at this point. Oh, he summoned Sarama, popped the Caesar to then do that. Okay. How was Sarama summoned? No, Sarama was added back off Blue Dog. How is this trap being sent back? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was a legal play and I don't know what happened, but I know Sarama was added back because I remember knowing Sarama. I remember knowing this trap card was the one that summons back and it was set this turn, which I don't know how I know that if Sarama wasn't triggered. So something happened here, and then Phantasma was summoned after that. If you guys figure it out, let me know. But it doesn't matter because the only difference is I guess Caesar would have been face down. If I am not mistaken, if I am, then this would be the correct board state, and I still kill this turn because this is what ends up happening. So I end up getting two board bodies on board, and then here I go ahead and I make the break sword. No, I make the Leviar. I make the Leviar. He's thinking on Leviar. And I should not have fast forwarded that. What did he do on Leviar? I think he links with it. Oh, I link with it. I just use the effect summon back. Okay. Yes, I make dark here, probably. Here we're just discussing how the Phantasme counters this. And I make IP. Okay, I make IP because I don't want the Birdish being destroyed, but I'm not sure about what effect I was expecting it to be destroyed off of. And then we make this guy. I'm pretty sure he hasn't blue dogged. Unless he, no, he did, he definitely, no. Am I phrasing? Oh no, he hasn't blue dogged, I remember exactly how this goes now. Okay, so maybe Birdish sets the Shade Brigadier and sends a monster. All he's holding on to right now is the blue dog. That should be his only interruption at this time. I know this is the one that Reborn's fitting from the graveyard or summons from deck if popped. And we go Birdish, I think for a while here, I believe. Yeah, we discussed like the best routes and whatnot, I think for a while here. And basically on making Bardiche, he uses Blue Dog to link away the Phantasme, and he expected it not to go through, but I definitely let it go through because I wanted that attack position body. And I believe he has no, well, he has Rama in hand, so I mean, he could have made a unicorn play, but that wouldn't have mattered either because spinning the Bardiche at this point doesn't do anything for him. And then here's where I just take forever to think on how. So I was basically trying to come up with a crazy line where I was gonna basically remove my own Bardiche off his own effect, or either off a breaksword effect, and then get this in the graveyard, and then make dark, bring it back, link with this and this guy on my field, make Access Code Talker, and try to swing for game. But I was gonna be missing attack. So we even discussed there if Access Code Talker could gain the attack off of an opponent's link monster, which it can. And basically, eventually, I get into the play, which I believe here would be where I was thinking about that for a while. Yeah, I was reading their cards, just trying to figure out that access code line, and then I realized I'm dumb and I had an easier line than that, which should have, and that's why the access code is there. We are just discussing and talking. Yeah, we just go brace or target face up. Here, he does trigger it, which I told him was a mistake once he does it, like once he summons it. However, the thing is, if he doesn't get an interruption and he loses value, so like it's not a horrible play, but that gives me a lot of attack. And basically here I explain, like, he knows I have Shade Brigadier, I have no traps in graveyard, I have 2 level 4s, and then Shade Brigadier is a level 4, so it just doesn't matter what he destroys here. Because no matter what he destroys here, I'm still going to make an Arc Rebellion and attack for game. So instead, I believe he's going to go ahead and pop his own card to remove the attack position monster. So he's going to summon, he's going to change this of a summon in defense, and then he's going to pop that, which is exactly what happened. And he adds back a a Saruva or whatever it's called to now summon again. Then we make Time Thief here, I believe, probably. Yeah, Time Thief, Radish pops that. It can't be summoned twice, so it getting destroyed matters not. And then we swing. Well, we put it on top. We put the Aruha on top of the deck, but then we realized that we shoveled it in, but then we realized it had to be on top of the deck because of Time Thief, so we put it back. And then that's what I wanted. I wanted him to draw Aruha because I wanted to know what he was gonna draw, and I knew the other card in hand was Surama or Suruma, whatever. Here I swung for Time Thief. I swung for this. So really quickly, guys, if the Caesar, if what I'm saying is right, that the Caesar should have still been on board, Time Thief just swings over it because I don't know what its defense is, but Time Thief I believe has a gloves under it, so it's at 34. And then yeah, at this point, I mean, I kept the droplet that I drew off the um. Did I draw it off something? Or did I just have an extra droplets? I don't really recall, but I had kept the droplets and oh, video started again because we got to the end. So yeah, so here I kept the droplets that I had in hand, which I don't recall why I had an extra droplets in hand. It might have just been that I opened two droplets, or no, yeah, I must have opened two droplets, and I had the option of pitching it for an effect, and I decided not to. And then I searched the fog blade, and so I had fog blade, and then obviously, as you guys saw, I hit a imperm off the time thief. So yeah, there just wasn't much he was gonna do there. Like, I mean, time thief alone plus a fog blade should deal with it, but I had a droplet on top of that, so there just wasn't anything he could really do to win this at this point, and we were able to manage to hit that Swift 2-0. Honestly, the MVP there was that Phantasme that basically allowed me to. Oh, that's where I got it from. The Phantasme is what drew me the droplets. So Phantasme summons, draws two, puts one back. I don't remember what the second card I drew was. I think it was like a Twin Twister. And I put it back and I kept that droplet. So the droplet I drew off Phantasme, I decided to keep it and set it for the next turn. And yeah, I mean, Fogblade, Phantasme, sorry, Fogblade, Time Thief of a trap card, and Droplet into just an Aruha, and I believe at this point he actually added Red Dog back. So he had added this Rama back, which is the purple one, and then he pitched it, and then when I popped the red link, he added back again, and this time he added the red one. So I'm not saying there weren't any plays, but in the board state, I had way too much advantage, and yeah, we ended up winning that.